without further ado, my friend, I probably lit a Roman candle here.
What's up, Sales?
What up, my friend? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm just looking at the numbers here before I get on here. Jalen Hurts is on pace for 4,400 passing yards. Oh, my.
And 34 interceptions. How you doing? This guy's the next Jameis Winston.
All right, I'll give you that. He better tone those interceptions down. I'll give you that.
Hey, how about this one though, Zander? Maybe we got to do the same shit that we have to do for Josh Allen with Jalen Hurts a little bit. Maybe there's just going to be turnovers, but if the winning continues, I mean, Allen wins at 700% clip too. He's got to play. Obviously, the postseason, I get it. He's got to win too, but Hurts is 2-3. Has gotten to a Super Bowl, no doubt. But still, these guys are got the same winning percentage during the regular season, both. Maybe what we got to learn to do, because of the dual threat aspect, there's going to be turnovers, but if he wins, do you learn to live with him?
Well, you learn to live with them, but it doesn't mean you don't work on them. I mean, look at Josh Allen. He's through 3 games. He's got, I want to say he has 7 touchdowns and 0 turnovers right now in the first 3 games. And look at the way they're winning games. So you still want to aspire to be better, but I do think you have a point. We had Les Bowen on this morning on Birds 365, and he's like, take the easier throws in the red zone until you get it back under. And I'm like, well, aren't you walking a fine line there? Do you want your quarterback to not take chances throwing to guys like Devontae and AJ for the sake of stopping turnovers? I mean, obviously he's got to be better. We all know that. Anybody that's understands football knows you can't turn the ball over that much. But I don't want him to just become gun shy, with this. So he's got to get better at it. And really, the thing that bothers me with it is it seems like it's 1 or 2 collapses a game, and then the rest of the game he plays incredible. Like like I said, and I got ripped in the comments, which is fair. One dude commented, because yesterday I'm like, if you took out the 2 turnovers, he would have had a great game. One dude comment, that's like saying if you take out the crimes from a criminal, they wouldn't be a criminal. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean, I get it. You can't just take those plays out.
Outstanding take.
Yeah, it was a great. He ripped me in the chat. I answered him back. I said, great point. But he's got to get better at it. But look, I'm ready to live with it a little bit. I mean, he's going to have to grow through it. I don't think he's the player that Josh Allen is, though. And that's not a knock on Jalen. I don't think there's a quarterback in the league that's the player that Josh Allen is. John McMullen said this morning, Sills, I'm not sure if he caught it. He says if Josh Allen didn't play reckless, he would be the best quarterback in the league, and that includes Patrick Mahomes. He's that talented of a player. I
don't want to say that, but
I think John might be right. In terms of arm test, I don't know. Mahomes is pretty unreal. So I don't want to go there.
That's why I don't.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go there. I'm just saying that's the type of talent that Josh Allen is. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that. But at the end of the day, Sills, he keeps, imagine if Josh Allen was here. Sills, you can do that in anything in life. There's always going to be a nicer car. There's always going to be a bigger house. There's always going to be a hotter chick. There's always going to be a better version of everything. You got to take what you got. You got to ride with who you got in your team and in your organization and what you got in life, and you got to build it up, man.
Amen. You've got to drive the Yugo, or you've got to drive the Datsun, or you got to drive a Volkswagen. Not everybody could drive one of them Ferraris, and you got to try to win yourself a Super Bowl with a Volkswagen. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm with you, Zander. Let's drive this Volkswagen.
This is the point going right over Sills' head.
I'm going to take that Volkswagen down to New Orleans this year, and I'm going to try to win me a Super Bowl with a Jetta. There you go. Jalen Hurts is a Jetta. That guy last night.
He's like an S-Class Mercedes. He's like an S-Class Mercedes. He's not quite a Ferrari, but he's like an S-Class Mercedes.
Last night was a Bugatti.
Yeah, all right. That's top of the line. Mahomes is the Bugatti. Josh Allen's the Ferrari. And Jalen Hurts is maybe a lower level.
He's a Jetta.
He's an S-Class or a McLaren or something in that range.
He's an S-Class. He's a C-Class. He's no S-Class.
C-Class is Drew Lock.
He's a two-door BMW that costs about $28,000. if you get it off of a lot.
Hutch, welcome to the National Football Show. Great point by Zander for Sills to take a big shit on it. Well, welcome to the show, Hutch. That's the story of
What
this
point?
entire
I didn't
show.
hear it. Hey, let's get to Dumbo Sirianni. You said that I would hate that interview or him getting up in front of the microphone. He goes, when you hear this, you're not going to be happy. Let me tell you something. You have the dumbest coach in pro football.
Oh, God.
He's the dumbest coach. Did you hear the Get Up guys this morning
It's tough
telling
for me
him to
defend
shut
him
the
at this
fuck up
point.
because he's
It's-
embarrassing himself?
It's tough for me to defend Nick Sirianni at this point. I'll battle with you on Jalen Hurts. He's going to have his ups and downs, and I'm going to call it as I see it each week. It is tough to defend Nick Sirianni. He is. I can't even listen to his press. I've told you that.
No, I
You know,
stopped. I stopped
I
reading.
can't
it.
even listen to the dude speak. He just puts these word salads together. And John's like he's doing that strategically so he gets less questions. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh shit, you might be
It's
right.
a politician's answer.
Yeah, it's a very politician. He makes this crazy word salad that ultimately amounts to nothing being said, but he kills a couple minutes by doing it. But look, I don't know what to think of Nick. At the end of the day, you talk about Ferraris and Bugattis. This roster is a Bugatti, and is Nick holding that? That's my ultimate fear with Nick. Right? We can complain about it on the week-to-week basis, and it's going to be very easy to do. My ultimate fear is not about a specific 4th and 1 in this game or whatever. It's about, is he going to stop us from reaching the pinnacle of what we can be as a football team? And that's my fear with Nick Sirianni, is that I don't know if he has what it takes to elevate the team. Just like we talk about how quarterbacks elevate players around them, coaches elevate players too. Look at Andy Reid. Look at what he does to that roster. Now he's got Mahomes, but
Nick Sirianni runs his team like he's disabled.
look at Kyle Shanahan. If you don't want to use a point like the Chiefs, great coaches elevate players. I don't know if I see that from Nick Sirianni, because every time he's had a handle on a player, they've taken it out from him. They've taken it away from him. They've taken the duty and given it to somebody else. So it's like, I don't know if he's going to be able to elevate this team. I think we have an unbelievable roster right now, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And it's like,
When healthy,
obviously. That's the same for every team in the league. But
got it.
If we don't reach it, is it because Nick doesn't get us there? It's possible.
No. I think there's something else here too. So I found out today in that word salad menage, whatever you want to call it, fireside chat of his, that he still has play calling, and he still calls some plays, and he says that.
I don't know what the fuck he was thinking saying that. I mean, that
why
was just
would
dumb.
do you know that undermines Kellen Moore when he says that? It undermines the coach and the authority. Hey, let me ask you this. Do you think anybody's calling those defensive plays on that side of the ball?
No, it's Vic Fangio. He's not even playing the $17 million edge rusher. I'm waiting for Howie to have a sit down with him.
I'm sure Howie's had a coordinator on it.
I bet you Vic is like, get the hell out of my office.
Hey,
I'm calling
no shit. That ain't happening. But here you got Nick Sirianni parachuting in on a press conference going, yeah, you know what we do? We get the garbage man and we get the parking lot attendant. We get everybody to have decision making on the play calling. And during the game, we'll have this. Hey, maybe we should call Stoutland will say, let's call this. And then we'll have the running back coach go, hey, maybe we call this. I'm like, well, who the fuck is in charge? Your football team is a resemble. You know what it is? It has the identity of Nick. No one's in charge. There's no leadership at the coaching positions except on one side of the ball. That's why you had such a massive improvement by one side of the ball versus the other. The other side still looked inconsistent. Now, injuries played a factor with AJ, that Devontae go. All of that was a built-in factor on why the offense was up and down. But on the other side, man, Vic had a great day. Vic improved so much from Atlanta to New Orleans. It's because one guy was the boss in the building. Here's what you got here on the offensive line coach will have a play. A wide receiver coach will have a play. I'll have a play. Well, fuck, man. Kellen Moore gets undermined by that. You talk about inconsistency. I don't want to hear the offensive line coach calling a play. I don't want to hear a wide receiver coach with a suggestion. Kellen, what the fuck do you want me to run here? Let's stay on the rails here. Nick takes this thing off the rails. You know where he got it from? Mike McCoy, who's a Doug Peterson guy. This all started and said, in San Diego, I heard him. That's how those guys ran that Phillip Rivers. You know why they love Rivers? Rivers liked all that intel. But one thing Rivers did, Rivers audibled. He was a coach's kid too. But if Phillip didn't like a play, Zander, Phillip would do this. Now we ain't running that.
I think you're going to start to see more of that from Jalen Hurts.
You know that play in the back of the end zone that Nick Sirianni is trying to make excuses for? Hey, dude, if you didn't have the right personnel in there, Hurts should have audible out of that and ran the ball and kicked the field goal. Points were a premium anyway. You know what? There's nothing wrong with field goals and special teams when you're not playing your A game. Take the for sure thing. Hey, Zander, if this team was scoring 39 points a game, I'm sitting there going, and I'm going to be as aggressive as I can. But right now, the way that they've been inconsistent the last 2 games in scoring points are a premium right now with the injury bug that the team has. Anytime you're in a position, what would you say Jake Elliott is? And not that I like talking about kickers and shit, but what do you think he is right now in the league? Top 3 kickers? Think he's one of the top 3 guys? Well, there's points.
He's top 5.
He's instant points.
So how about this? I don't know how good Jake Elliott is right now because we don't fucking use him.
Hey, right, man. I mean, you know who's cost us more turnovers than Jalen Hurts? Nick Sirianni. Okay, he's cost us more football turnovers right now and downs. People don't bring that up. Hey, how many times have they missed?
That's right, it's true.
How many downs on 4th down has he missed compared to the turnovers that Jalen has had?
Yeah,
Good, I'll tell you what.
We had 2 turnover on downs, I think, last week. So
that's on him.
Yeah, he's racking them up. But you're right. I mean, maybe if Jalen does have autonomy at the line of scrimmage, maybe you walk up there with 13 seconds. Now, I think Jalen at some point you probably can't undermine your coach if he says he wants to go for it. But if I'm the quarterback and I'm walking up, Nick, there's 13 seconds on the clock. Even if we get this, what are we doing here? What's the goal here?
What's the end game to this?
What is our end game here? So maybe Jalen will start to take that away though, as he starts to see that, Jalen is a coach's kid. He understands the game of football. I mean, he's not dumb. He gets it. So
but
I'm wondering,
he respects the chain of command too much.
I think you're right. I think Jalen does respect the chain of command and he understands that. So, we'll see. This is the worst insult I've ever gotten, Steven Sloggett. I'm not even going to pull that up, man. Come on.
What do you call you, communist again?
I don't know, man.
How about, hey, I'm gonna read you something here. Here are the Bucks this weekend. Now, granted, look, somebody said, well, Denver's a good team since when? I don't remember that. Then I did go down to Tampa, and they did put the wood on them down there in Tampa at Raymond James this past weekend. But listen to this, Zander. Here's the offense. They're 26th in total offense.
Yeah, the team sucks.
They're 23rd in passing, 186 a game. Rushing, they're doing 91 yards a game. That's 27th. They're 15th in scoring. They're in the middle at 21-3. On defense, they're giving up 371 yards, and the Eagles are averaging 414 yards in 3 games. The Bucks are 27th, and you're going against a 3rd-ranked offense. I don't know here. Here, Pat's defense, 233, which is 24th. That's right on the number for Hurts. He's about 231 in passing yards. Rush defense, 137.7. They give up 140 yards a rush. Saquon Barkley is going to be running the ball in the 25th ranked defense, stopping the run. Holy piss. You may not need receivers in this game. Scoring defense. They're in the middle of the pack here, giving up only 27, which means what? They're playing good red zone defense when you're only averaging 20 points. In today's NFL, that's a good number when you're 15.
That's a great number. That's a great number. Yeah.
You're in the middle of the room here. So my point would be, this is all going to be contingent on what Eagle team they roll down there. What roster? Is Lane out? Is Becton out? Is your top 2 receivers going to be out? Is Gardner Johnson playing? Is Slay okay? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it's going to come down to how the team looks. I mean, you can't just go like this here on a Tuesday. Well, the Eagles are better. Well, we don't know that yet until Wednesday, until we get what the list is going to be. I think
you just rolled out some of those injuries there. That's my biggest concern, man, coming into this game. It is a big concern, though, that you should know. You shouldn't have to wonder what team is going to show up this week. That's part of being a great team, is being consistent, and the Eagles have to fix that. But it's early in the year, so like we saw,
and it's early in the week.
Yeah, it's early in the year, though. I mean, 3 games, it's tough. If you're in week 8 and week 5 looks different than 3 and 7 looks different than 4, and everything's different, then you're going to have a real consistency problem. But I'm concerned about these injuries. You're talking about Lane Johnson out. I haven't heard anything on Mekhi Becton yet. I don't anticipate Lane is back when you're puking on the sideline with a concussion.
That's right. I thought he was ill with a sickness.
Me too. I was wondering if potentially he had an anxiety attack, because obviously he dealt with that in the past. And I don't suffer from that personally, but I do know that, people who have that seriously do suffer from,
That's a
puking.
dude.
I know. And that's when I heard
grade
it. When I heard it was a concussion, I'm like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's a serious grade concussion.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, and never am I going to try and be one. But if you listen to a doctor break it down, when you have puking with a concussion, you got problems. Like you said yesterday on the show, grade 1, right?
Mm.
They're going to limit his exposure.
There's no way Devontae plays.
Limit his exposure to noises. I mean, that's legit. So, and then Devontae Smith is a worry as well. I mean, he took a nasty hit in that game, and he's a tough dude, but that was a nasty hit, man. And I don't know what Greg Olson was watching. He clearly connected with Devontae's helmet, whether it was malicious or not is another
I thought it was helmet to helmet.
He clearly, that's why the helmet went flying off his body. I mean, he clearly hit him in the head.
I thought it was a dirty targeting hit.
I thought it was positive to see Devontae kind of walk off and give the fans rile them up a little bit, but now you're dealing with real adversity, right? In this football team. You're talking about no AJ Brown, no Devontae Smith, no Lane Johnson. I mean,
you and the Niners are kind of in the same boat.
You're now a pedestrian offense to go a middle of the pack in terms of talent offense. When you talk about no Lane Johnson and no Mekhi Becton, now your offensive line's depleted. Your receiving core is depleted. You're like middle of the pack at best, and that's no knock on Jalen or Saquon or Dallas Goedert. You just lose major players there. So that's a real concern coming into this football game. We did get some updates. Let me see if I can get them real quick.
Oh, that'd be great if we could get some updates.
Well, I know that they put Britton Covey on the injured reserve. We knew that was going to happen when you heard
6 weeks.
Yeah, so he's going to be out for a good bit. Let me find the. So they signed tight end Jack Stoll to the active roster. They're going to need him with 12 personnel this week in blocking. That's why they're bringing him up. And then they signed wide receiver John Ross to the practice squad and placed Britton Covey on injured reserve. So nothing huge on the updates. But
moves, no updates on the injuries.
No updates on the injuries, just roster moves. But you can tell they added Jack Stoll to the roster because they know they're going to need 12 personnel without the star wide receivers out there. And then you bring in John Ross, so maybe he gets elevated, during the game.
John Ross being signed means that, in my opinion,
practice squad. They got him.
They'll elevate him for the game.
That's what
they won't do. They want to put him out there. And by the way, it's a good sign. I'll tell you why. He knows the system. He was in it the entire camp. So what they're going to do is, end of the week, they'll elevate him to the practice squad. Devontae will be put. I doubt they put him on IR, but they'll keep him in concussion protocol. And so once he's in concussion protocol, probably maybe next week, depending on what the grade is, Lane's the concern.
Yeah,
because Lane has, I think, like I said, no playing doctor or anything, but I've only seen that 4 times with a guy vomiting on the sidelines over concussions. That means, like you said, Zander, your vertigo's out, the loud noises, the bright lights, and all that.
Apparently it was pretty net. Like he was puking a lot. It wasn't just like he was projectile vomiting. Yeah, he had a lot. Yeah, he was over there sick. Yeah. I mean, he was, so not good for Lane Johnson. And you're right. You talk about AJ Brown's maybe the biggest injury, but it ain't good when you lose your star right tackle. That's been really one of the best players on this football team for the better part of 10 years. So,
hold on.
Trouble in Eagleville right now in terms of injuries.
I want you to do me a favor. Say it with me. Sills, you were right about the Commanders.
I never pushed back on you. I never pushed back on you on the Commanders. I said when they drafted Jaden Daniels, get ready. It might not be this year, but that team's going to be good. That dude last night. Oh, boy. James Jones, are you out there? Got to give credit where it's due in this league, man. That was an impressive performance from that kid. That was that last drive, he looked like a veteran quarterback. I mean, he marched down the field. He had a dude in his face on that touchdown delivery.
Outplayed Burrow.
I mean, he got rocked on that touchdown throw to Terry McLaurin. I mean, just really impressive
Dude,
work.
Terry McLaurin was freaking insane last night too.
Terry McLaurin's great. Yeah. So they're going to be a good football team in the future. It might not be this year.
Hey, I'm more worried about the Commanders than the Cowboys this year.
The Cowboys look brutal. I mean, I don't know. I still think Dak is a better quarterback than Eagles fans like to give him credit. I know he's the king of crunch time, but
I think they got too many holes everywhere else. Can't run the ball, can't stop the run. I mean, you're not going to go anywhere.
They're the worst. I mean, you think Eagles are bad at stopping a run, people. Why watch the Cowboys
game. Sign Henry.
That Cowboys game is brutal.
Derrick Henry lives in Dallas. Why wouldn't you have signed him? He just goes for 155.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, shit, I don't give a shit.
No. You're right. But I'm saying if you're the Cowboys, why are you not making those moves? Look, you know what? It's crazy. All you hear about is money in Dallas. You never hear that shit going on in Philly. They never, ever, unless it's AJ bitching about something, but that's not really a lot of noise. There's just not a lot of noise with money. Remember what we said about the Hurts deal? We woke up one morning, we were like, when was this thing negotiated? I haven't heard any negotiations. Nicole Lynn kept that thing so quiet with Clutch. We were like this. We woke up the next day going, he signed a $250 million deal.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, but it was under the radar. It wasn't like a 5-year
romance. Yeah, it was big news when it happened. I remember when it happened. I wasn't on the air.
5-year bromance between Dak and Jerry, and that thing went on forever. I mean, they don't do that in Philly.
Jerry loves milking it. Look, I'm fine. I mean, that's who he is.
Good. Because I think it hurts his team there with that.
All right, here. I don't think he gives a shit though. You know what Jerry's scoreboard is? My team's worth more than any
$10 billion.
And $10 billion is what it's reported at. If he went to sell that team, actually,
$15 billion,
it would be $12 to $15 billion. And I think the Eagles would get close to 10 if you talk about selling, that team with the type of, billionaires that they got fuck you money out there. Just like
you would have to get a sheik to get that thing.
Yeah, the Cowboys are worth a lot of money, and that's Jerry's scoreboard. But look, I'm good with that. You go ahead, make your team worth more money. I just want to win football games and win championships. So we got to do more of that as an organization. But yeah, Dallas is in trouble as well.
Barkley's 73 touches so far. Are you concerned about the workload?
I mean, it's too many. I'm sure everybody. I mean, look, what's he on pace for?
430 total touches.
That's a lot of touches, man. I mean, how
many games is left?
The most he's ever had in a year is 295.
Total touches?
Well, no, that's
carries.
That's carries, yeah.
Okay, let's see. 73. Okay, 73 divided by 3 equals. So he's talking about 24.
295 and 22 with 57 catches. So he had 352. 352.
Right now he's on pace for 408 carries. Carries, not just total touches.
Yeah, that's too many. That's way too many. Everybody knows that's too many. Let's get real quick, Sills. I'm going to hit these super chats. I don't want to let mess our people. MJ, thanks for the bunch of them. Yeah, Christopher Hand. Nick has a very punchable face. Chris, you're right. He does. Every time I watch him, I'm like, "Fuck you, Nick." Even though I like him, sometimes, I still say that.
Like slapping a mannequin.
Des the Hebrew, who I talked to on the post game show. Yeah,
I love Des the Joe.
He joined me on the post game shows, and he was in New Orleans at the game.
So dope!
It was pretty sick to talk to Des down there. Good stuff from him. Chances and dumb decisions, not the same thing. Agreed, Gunner, and he gave us $5 here. We might have read this one. Well, I complain about the amount of coaches Hurst has had. Maybe he needs some responsibility in getting them fired. When is it him and not coaches? It's a fair point. I mean, it's also tough to switch a system every year, Gunner. I mean, these NFL offenses aren't like reading a kid's book, bro. It's a lot. Learning an offense is a lot of work.
Dude, look at this, Zander. The defensive playbooks are about this big.
Yeah.
The offensive playbooks are like a Tokyo phone book.
So I hear you, Gunner. At some point, he's going to have to answer the call, but we'll see. Prince says, I mentioned that it's up to Jalen to make the plays. The Falcons' loss can be attributed to Nick. We left 9 points and lost by 1. Hello, that's Nick. Prince, I agree. The amount of points he's left on the board this year through just 3 games is criminal. James M. checks in. This game is going to come down to if Jalen Hurts can really handle the blitz or not. Todd Bowles gave him more than he can handle. That's a great point.
No, they're going to blitz him for sure.
And I think Todd Bowles is, I have a lot of respect for Raheem Morris, who we went up against.
Hey, Des the Jew, do it again for me, man. Make sure you tag my Twitter at Dan Sileo. Show those pictures because I don't know if I got them.
Where's Des the Jew? Why do you call him Des the Jew, by the way?
I don't know. Hebrew Jew? Why is there some sort?
I don't think there's a problem with it. I think Des wouldn't like you if he had a problem with it. So he clearly doesn't give a shit. But
well, Hebrew's Jewish, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm Catholic. I don't know. I think so.
Oh, what? You don't know anything about the Quran or anything because you're a Catholic and he's a Jew? Come on. What are you doing here?
Hebrew is Jew, ? Des, is that correct? Yes. Hebrew is often used to refer to the Jewish people and or
Jesus
Israelites.
Christ is considered Jesus the Jew.
Well, yeah, that's because there was no Christianity before Jesus Christ, Big Sills. We're not about to get into religion right now.
Hey, I'm just trying to have clarity here with my friend here, Des the Jew. That's all I want, just to make sure here that we're all on the same place.
As long as Des is cool
Des
with
the Hebrew is one of my favorite people in here.
Yeah, he's great. I talked to him too. So
now
I put a face to a name. So it's I love doing that. That's why I love getting some of the people on. You know, I know what Abe looks like. I know what Des the Hebrew, Des the Jew looks like. I know what a couple of these dudes look like. So it's great talking to them on that show.
I love Des the Jew. That's right, brother, right there. Yeah, that's right. Hey, by the way, if you got a Twitter page, I'll follow you back. All of you stiffs, including you, Princess. If you follow me on my social media. Hey, Zander, what's that social media thing you want me to send shit to? That Twitter page, that X page? Make sure you get that out there, too, because I got a lot of people.
At Real Zander. It's my new Twitter account, mostly following the Eagles. I had a personal account that's just inundated with personal stuff.
Zander the Catholic, right?
No, I have at Real Zander is the account. So follow me on Twitter. I'll follow a bunch of you guys back, too, as well. I haven't gotten back to following people, but I'm going to follow a bunch of you guys back at Real Zander on Twitter. So appreciate anybody that gives me a follow. Appreciate it.
I got to hand it to Brian Johnson and the job he did with Jaden Daniels last night. Can you believe that? Cliff Kingsbury and what they're doing with Jaden Daniels. Look at that quarterback guru, Brian Johnson, and what he's done. Last year, he had the 8th best offense in pro football. Now he's got a potential rookie of the year candidate, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson's going to get another job opportunity at being an OC somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, they scapegoated him last year. I mean, look, he had his issues, but they scapegoated the shit out of that man. And I almost felt bad for him on the way out the door. I'm like, now the entire city's acting like this was all on Brian Johnson. Nobody wants to point the finger at the dude that's still here.
Oh, I think that's changed. I think they know the guy.
Well, that's starting to change, and which is good for Brian because I think Brian is a future in this league. I think he's a smart guy. He was great in college. I know college is a lot different, obviously, but he was a great coach in college, great coordinator in college. So a lot of respect for Brian Johnson, actually, even though, his ending here was sour a little bit for the fans, but I have no issue with him. And you're right. The latest work he's done has been with Jaden Daniels, and that dude came into the league. He might be. Now, we thought there was going to be no CJ Stroud this year. I'm not saying he's going to be that, but he might be a close thing to it, man. He looked incredible. I think he was like 24 of 26 or 23 of 25 or something.
300 total yards, something,
that's
350.
Unbelievable. I mean, to think about that. And it's not like he was taking all underneath stuff. The dude was launching the ball down the field.
I know.
He was taking chances. So he looked really good last night, man.
You know what else looked really good? Watching Josh Allen throw more touchdowns in a half than Hurts has all year.
Yeah.
In a half. In a half.
My phone, can you guys imagine? My phone was blowing up last night during that. Are you watching this? Do you see what's on the TV? Sells.
Oh,
I got it, brother. No, he did.
Hey,
look, you got to give credit. Look, I like to give credit when credit
Joe
is due.
Brady's done a nice job with him.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen looks. This might be the best football he's ever played in his career, and he's played a lot of good football. I mean, he was on fire last night. I turned that game on. They went 5 straight drives with 5 straight touchdowns, 4 touchdown passes, and they weren't, like I said, they weren't underneath. They were nice throws, man. He was on fire last night for sure. You got to give him credit.
Hey, what's this number represent? Ready? 110 million and 0-6. Do you know what that number represents? Those two numbers?
110 million and
0-6.
0-6. Who's 0-6?
Here, wait. The Jags are 0-3, and the Bengals are 0-3,
Ooh.
and the two highest paid players in the league combined
Well,
at
Dak is
$55 million.
Yeah, Dak is now the highest, but those two were the highest.
Oh,
Damn,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
unbelievable. Can we just talk about my man, Doug Peterson, bro?
Oh, he's in
I
trouble.
love you, Doug, but what is going on
Hey,
down
Trevor
there,
Lawrence
man?
could get that guy fired. You know,
Yeah.
let me ask you this about Trevor. Is there one thing he does? Like, here's the thing about Hurts. What's exceptional about Hurts? When he's dual threat, man, he's exceptional when he gets out in the perimeter and he wins. The difference between Trevor and Jalen turns the ball over but wins and finds a way to win. What's exceptional about him? Every quarterback in the league
Trevor
that's
Lawrence
good.
thing, yeah. I mean, look, like you say, Sills, I'm a prove it guy. And until you prove it, I mean, he's really done nothing special in this league. I think they had one year where they went to the playoffs. He had that big comeback, or they were down like
against the Chargers.
35 and nothing or something. And I'm like, oh, great. You went down 35-0. I get you came back. But no, he's way overrated right now. And now they're locked in. So unfortunately, that contract, you know,
oh, that's an anchor around their neck.
But that's bad news more for Doug than anybody, right? Because before you sign that guy, you have leeway on who to choose. You know, you signed Trevor Lawrence for that type of deal. Doug's getting the can if he can't make it work. So Doug's got what Doug needs to do though is move on from these court. It's the same dude he lost his job in Philly for, and the guy has done nothing.
Run the ball with ETN.
I mean, I don't understand what Doug is doing with Press Taylor. The guy stinks. He doesn't add anything, I don't think, to that team. You know, and I think Trevor Lawrence, to be fair to him, I think he's better than he's showing, if that makes sense. I'm not saying what he's done is bad, but if he gets the right I don't know. Is he this bad?
Would you give that guy $55 million?
No, but if you're remember, they're Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know.
They suck, and they've sucked for years. So they get a guy like Trevor. They don't even know what a good quarterback looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why they kind of fell for it. But, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe bring Doug back to Philly. He'll get his shit together back here with this roster.
Oh, I think they would love him in like a consultant role.
Yeah, but he's got to move on from what's holding him down. And I don't think right now he hasn't shown that he's willing to do it. Like,
you know what it looks like to me?
He got that gig. He took a year off in the NFL.
Why don't you bring Frank down there?
Right, like do something different.
Bring Frank down there.
And he's still using Press Taylor, so I don't really get what he's trying to accomplish there with that.
Just get Frank down there, man.
Let's get this super real quick, so.
Good, let's do it.
Door Gunner says Eagles roster like a Pimp My Ride vehicle. On the surface looks amazing until the road gets rough and the wheels fall off.
Yeah. And then you realize she ain't got no teeth, right? Is that what you're saying there, Gunner?
Sounds like that's what he's saying. Fly Eagles fanatic checks in. Look at the Bills' tough schedule. We will see. They do have a tough schedule, but if Josh Allen plays like that, my man.
I think there's like Jets and Ravens and somebody else lined up on the other side of these games. It's true. It's true, obviously. But here's the difference. They're blowing the teams
I'm not
out.
too scared of the Ravens anymore, bro. I'm really not.
Boy, I'll tell you what. You know what John McMullen said, if you remember right, in the offseason? John said they lost a lot of shit over there on defense. It's playing out that way.
Yeah.
Because they look, and by the way, they just realized last week that Derrick Henry was on the team. I mean,
I know, right?
You needed to get that guy rolling early.
Yeah, they almost squandered that game, though, man. It was 28-6 going into.
Yeah, I thought that thing was over.
Yeah. So,
hey, last thing here for you. How concerned are you heading into this week here with the injuries?
I mean, it's got to be a real concern. I mean, when you talk about we're not talking about.
You're talking frontline stars.
Yeah, with all due respect to Britton Covey, you know, he's the least of our worries. We're talking about bona fide stars that make this football team what this football team is right now, injured. I mean, you talk about losing Devontae and AJ. That's almost as big of a loss as if you lost the quarterback, losing both of those guys and your star right tackle. So these are big hits to the offense. It makes you a little bit concerned. The other thing that makes you concerned is, you know, and John kind of put me onto this, and I think he's right. Similar to how he said about New Orleans, where he's like, I don't think they're as good as they've played, so they're going to come back to the earth. Well, they did. I don't think the Bucs are as bad as they played last week, getting beat by the Broncos. I think they could have a better week this week. So, look, I think it's going to be another.
They got a better win than the Eagles do. They got a win against the Lions.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, the Lions. I mean, I don't know if
they beat them in Detroit too.
Yeah, the Lions aren't going to be as good this year. I think. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. It's still early in the year, but I don't know if they're as good. Everybody projected them. Oh, the best team in the NFC. I don't know if they're that. So,
Hey,
I don't
real
know.
quick, you want to hear my top 10 teams?
Yeah, Joe, ring it off to me.
All right.
I'd like to make mine too, but I don't
Yeah,
have.
well,
I didn't.
here.
I didn't make it, but I'll see if I can wing it.
Okay, wing it here. Here is, and by the way, I'll wait for my top 10 quarterbacks in pro football. Is Jalen Hurts on here? We'll wait and see on that one. Here are the Big Sills top 10 NFL teams. Number 10, Matt LaFleur has to be the coach of the year in what he's done with a backup quarterback. They're 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
They're running the ball as good as ever. They get Jordan Love back this week. I got the Packers at 2-1 at number 10.
I like that.
At number 9, the team from the city of brotherly love, the Philadelphia Eagles. I do think the Saints game has tempered my opinion a little.
I think 9's a little generous. I got to be honest.
You know why? I think what they showed me on defense is ability, what they can be.
Yep, I like that.
Not what they are yet.
Yeah, all right, I like that.
And so it showed me they can be that, okay? Whereas Dallas is never going to show me that. You know what I mean? Dallas is never going to show you that. Zander, what I saw with the Saints, okay, that's what they can be. They're not that yet. Can they be that by November and play like that week in and week out? Number 8. Man, I don't know, man. This team every year does this bullshit to me. 3-0 Seahawks. I don't know. I mean, maybe because they're so far away, they don't get a lot of pub, but they're playing great defense. They run the ball. And Geno Smith has revitalized his career up there, my friend. I mean, he's undefeated up there. He's 3-0. They win ball games. And I'll tell you this. You know what my daughter said? My daughter doesn't really watch position players. She's like, hey, Dad, that DK Metcalf guy can play.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play. He's outstanding.
That dude can play.
He can play. At number 7, I'm going to say that this thing was just a blimp on the screen here on what happened to the Texans this past week. I'm going to put the Texans at 7 because I think they got too good a roster, and I think they're going to pick up the pieces here, and I think they're going to go on this week. Man, Minnesota beat them. You know, Minnesota's beaten them and the 49ers in consecutive weeks. Now, I made this list prior to looking at those numbers, Zander. I think maybe I got the Bucs too high here at 6 because they're 2-1, but they got a big win against the Detroit Lions. The Lions are my favorite to go to the Super Bowl and win it. I don't know, man. They're gonna tell me a lot who you are this week. We'll see. Number 5. I don't know what it is with the Steelers. Hey, and Justin Fields is 3-0. And the football defense is probably the best defense in pro football right now, the Steelers. And TJ Watt's the defensive player of the year in the way that guy's been playing. So I got the Steelers at 5. The Minnesota Vikings. Let me tell you something about Brian Flores. He took a lot of shit in Miami, but I'll tell you one thing that they have done up in Minnesota. That's a violent defense, and you know what it is? It's a tough man's defense. What's the one thing the Miami Dolphins are lacking right now? It's toughness. I'll tell you this. The Hello Kitty guy may be able to design plays and ride around on scooters and have battery charged cars that he sits in like that cube fucking thing. Well, let me tell you something. They are a soft, bendy, cheap bag. That's what they are. They're a phony Rolex. That team is not tough. And Brian Flores has brought something to that Minnesota Vikings defense. They've beaten the Niners and Texans, and they whooped the Texans this past week. I like that Lions team too much, and I like Dan Campbell. Jared Goff, couple games a little bit spotty. I've got him number 3. I got the Bills too. Could that change because of the schedule coming up? Absolutely. And until, the Chiefs haven't played great ball, I see a lot of lists right now that have the Bills ahead of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Until you beat the King, dude.
Yeah, I get it. I get
You
it.
know, until you beat the king, I'm not going to put you above the king.
Yeah, right. I mean, it depends what type of list you're making. I mean, if I'm going off pure the first 3 weeks of
That's
football,
right. This is the first 3 weeks. This
I'm
isn't
putting the
like
Bills at 1 though right now. I mean, well, just based on the first 3 weeks of football, I get it. You got to
okay.
knock off the king. So,
I,
but that to me, that's
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, that's a different analysis for me. Where you got to beat the king obviously in the playoffs, but through the first 3 weeks, if I didn't know any previous years existed, the Bills are the number 1 team in football. I'd say right now. They're playing incredible. I'm not going to give you mine today. I'll give them tomorrow though, because I want to make it. I want to do it right because I'm looking at this list. I have a couple clashes of me to get down to 10, and it's tough to get the Eagles.
You got what I said about the Eagles here.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Hey, did you hear what he said? I'm being kinder than him.
Well, look, I don't. That doesn't mean I don't think our team is great, but to what they played like through 3 games. I mean, look at how many points the offense has put on the board.
You're right.
They put a 21 and then 18. It's like our offense is a lot better than that. So through 3 weeks, I don't believe our team has played anywhere close to what the potential of the football team is. I do think you're right. The defense showed you a ton last week and what they can be, what they're projecting to be if they start to really put it together on a consistent basis. So I think that's a good thing, but there's the NFL is wide open right now, as it always is early in the year. And, it'll be interesting to see, how the war of attrition affects it, how these teams continue to develop. And that's why, like Tom Brady always says, the NFL starts after Thanksgiving, man. It doesn't really start right now. It does, but you know what I'm saying, where, you start to really know who the contenders are late in the year. And we're going to learn a lot about all these teams. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. And I'm hopeful and optimistic that our birds are going to start to click. I'm just worried Nick's going to get in the way, but hopefully he does not.
So again, that's a good take on what the team could be, because that was a leap, and that was great coaching by Vic Fangio here. I think we got a couple.
It was even more so than great coaching though, Sills.
Effort.
Your players showed up, man.
Yeah, effort.
Like it doesn't matter how good your scheme is. If your best players on the defensive line don't play well,
effort.
It ain't gonna look good. If Darius Slay, your star corner, gets beat for the game winner, it's not gonna look good. So the players showed up yesterday in a big way, and I thought that was a positive thing.
Let me ask you one last one here. Do you think that Vic Fangio would have the balls to deactivate Bryce Huff for
not deactivate him? I've been hard on him. I don't think he's that bad. Who are you gonna play up over him?
Dude,
I mean, if you're talking about
Brandon Graham is outplaying him.
I know, but I'm saying you're talking about deactivating. That means he's worse than Jalen Hunt and all those. Is he that bad? Oh my God. Oh, holy Lord.
I'd rather get Jalen Hunt. I'd rather get Jalen Hunt.
Tell me, is Bryce Huff that fucking bad? Did we sign a guy that shouldn't even be on the 53?
Yeah. Dude, you said it the first week you saw him play. You called him a liability. Every game he's been in, he's been a liability.
God. Oh, God.
Hey, dude, this guy is the worst. We saw your super chat, princess. Relax, bitch. We'll get to it. Holy cow. A man who asks another man how tall he is, and another man who has patience like a woman. Come on, Prince. That's why you call him princess. Come on, sweetheart.
Are you telling me we signed a $17 million, 51 total $million guy, and you don't even think he should be on the fucking 53-man roster?
Yeah. Holy I'd rather get Jalen Hunt. I'd rather get Jalen Hunt. Stop crying. What up, snowflakes?
Excuse my French, man.
I get Prince already.
Let me get him. I'll get him. We got a couple here.
Yeah, make sure you get to Honey's. You should do Honey's first, because I don't want him to wet his pants.
That's all right.
We'll do this guy. He cries.
Yeah, he sends $5 of his hard-earned money to get a comment on the show.
This guy cries too. This guy cries a ton all the day.
All these guys, they're working hard in their life. They're sending us their hard-earned money. I'm gonna get to their super chats. I respect that. Go ahead. Perez says, I like Hurts not having AJ or Smith. Makes the offense run through Goddard and Saquon, and it expands the offensive play calling. It's a good point, Perez.
Holy shit! Great take by this guy. Finally.
Yeah. Perez, don't take the shit from Sills. Give it back to him in the chat.
Hey, Martin, that's a great take, because I thought he played better in the fourth quarter when he wasn't obligated to go to primary targets. I said that too, and you're right. I mean, he looked more proficient in spreading the ball around. Unbelievable. A decent take by Martin. Usually stinks the entire 4 hours, but go ahead.
Martin, great take, Martin. Hey, Broncos may have, due to altitude, Tampa sea level low. I guess he's saying the altitude gave him an advantage there. Was that game in Denver?
The game was in Tampa there, Abe. Abe, the game was at Raymond James.
Abe, you know it. You can't be a softy in this show. You better get your shit.
Don't shit take, Abe. Let's go. Abe F. Let's go. Oh, God. You read this because I don't want to throw up on myself.
Prince, the legendary Prince, says, the Lions played the Rams, Bucks, and Cardinals. The Eagles played Green Bay, Falcons, and Saints, all who you said were better than us.
Prince, I said the Cardinals were better. When did I say that than the Eagles?
The Cardinals look pretty good.
But I never once said that. The Bucks have already beaten the fuck out of you in a playoff game. And the Rams, I did think that, and they just beat the 49ers, so they're 1-2. Okay. I think Green Bay is a good football team, and they're playing it. You beat them. I said you were better than the Falcons? When did I say that? I never said that.
Yeah, but you said that the Lions have played better schedule. I think Prince is right. The Green Bay, Falcons, and the Saints. Falcons just put up a good fight versus the champs. Green Bay, you just put them in your top 10.
Prince makes shit up.
Prince,
this guy's got CTE.
No, Prince, great take, Prince. That's correct.
He sucks.
Sills gets checked on the super chat.
He
great
does.
Stuff, Prince.
He sucks.
So my biggest takeaway is that from this segment is Bryce Huff shouldn't even be on the 53-man roster.
Yeah. Why? What's the point?
God.
Did you pay him? He's so not productive. Hey, Prince, you and me here. You think Bryce Huff should be on the 53-man roster?
Come on, man. Everybody.
How many people in here?
Everybody.
Hey,
is
everyone.
A collective thought process right now?
Everyone.
I know he stinks. I understand he's not worth what
that guy should be on the 53-man roster at $17.8 million.
Oh, God.
Dude, he's done dick.
Dude, this is a tough. Sills, it's week 3, though, dude. Come on. I mean, I can't put him on.
What, you think he's going to learn how to stop the run in week, 6?
No, I know. Can he at least be the one trick that we signed him for? Can you at least make some pressure on the outside? He set the edge. I mean, look, he set the edge a couple plays last game, a little bit better. Was inconsistent with it, but he only played 18.
Wow, are you looking for everything to help the kid out here, man? It's too early.
I don't want to admit it. I don't want to. I'm ready to admit he sucks. I'm not ready to admit he shouldn't be on the 50.
Okay, who should be on the field? Nolan Smith or Bryce Puffin stuff?
Nolan Smith actually did. Oh, if you watch the tape, Sills, I'm sure you'll see some of it. I'm not saying he's great. I gave him all the nicknames. I get he's got to rush the passer, but he did a much better job at setting the edge than Bryce Hufflepuff did. Much better job at setting the edge than Hufflepuff. So, maybe Nolan should be out there. I do like Jalen Hunt a little bit, but he's a project player. I don't think they're going to him yet.
Wait a minute. One guy's a project player and the other guy's a non-player.
It's true.
I mean, hey, Prince, is that good enough for you, sweetheart? You can whatever you want to do. Am I an idiot for worrying about Barkley's usage? No.
No, you're not an idiot at all for that, Gooby.
No way. Offensive health moving forward, barely winning while leaning on Barkley. As much gives me pause. It does give you pause. Well, he's got 73 total touches so far in the first 3 weeks. So I think they're all concerned about it too and bringing that up. No question about it, man. I mean, that's a major concern. Yeah, so wait a minute here. One guy can't play and the other guy's a project. Well, shit. Yeah, give me the project. Maybe I can mold him into something because I know it is. That guy Bryce Huff can't play.
I got to run because I got to call at 4:30 with one of our sponsors actually. But I do want to review this real quick. Can we look? Is there an out? Is there an out in this contract? Are we looking at this guy for 2 years?
Yeah, it's called dead cap money.
Yeah.
Hey, you think they activate Devin White this week?
No.
Against the Bucks?
No. Devin White will never play a game in Philadelphia. I know nobody wants to hear that. Everybody doesn't want to hear that, and I understand why. But and because we all expected him to be a better player, but the Philadelphia Eagles do not like him. I don't know if it's Howie or what. Let's just real quick look at this contract. This is not good, everybody. This is not good. The cap hits are massive. If you move on from him, After this year, dead cap 34. Next year, it's 30. 26, it's 22. And 27, it's 15.8. You're looking at a massive dead cap hit if we move on for Bryce Huff.
Woo! Howie season.
Oh, God, this is brutal.
Hey, so let me get this right. You've got $8 million on the sidelines on the Pine with White. You've got 17.8 with Huff and Puff. You've got Bradbury on the IR with 11.5. Hey, man, that's how you do a salary cap, Junior. Holy cow.
So,
I got to get this kid out of here. Huff is karma for us making fun of Zeke's contract. Oh, really? Zeke?
My
Hey,
mouth's all fucking
hey, the money you're going to pay for Zeke, trust me, that will be la croce. You know what that is in Italian? The cross we bear. Zander, great stuff. Tell the folks how many likes we have right now. You guys have killed it. Don't forget Birds 365 in the morning. They're absolutely killing it with John Filibuster McMullen.
Oh, come on. Yeah, everybody needs to rip Sills for that. He's crying about John talking about step in. You got something to say. Step in, Big Sills. You're a big boy. You're a big boy. I mean, come on, Big Sills. I'm surprised that Jackie ripped
a little upset. How many?
I don't know how many likes we're at. I got it.
How many even my aunt, who defends me since I was a little boy.
Oh, I wonder why your aunt defends you over everybody else. You think she's got no bias in her? I mean, come on. I love your Aunt Betty. I love your Aunt Betty, but no, you're telling me she's defending Big Sills. No, it's like telling me that my mother defended me.
There's no balance there with that.
269 likes. Wow, great stuff, man.
Keep it up, guys. Zander, we'll catch you tomorrow morning on Birds 365, brother.
Yeah, I just want to give one update before I go. The Saquon Barkley jersey was claimed from our man David Mac Perez, so I ordered it already.
As long as it wasn't Prince.
It was not Prince. I hope Prince wins one, but it wasn't him. So I think we're going to be giving away a lot more Saquon Barkley jerseys this year. So he did claim it, and we'll be on to next week. I think it's going to be a good chance next week, especially you're talking about no Devontae, no AJ. It's going to be Saquon Barkley all day. So he should get those 125, and we'll be giving away another one next week. So get your memberships in, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Sills, great show as always, my brother. I'll be listening to the end. Thank you for having me on.
You got it, brother. We'll catch you tomorrow morning there on Birds 365. By the way, Cosmo Hendrickson, would the Duke Tobin, general manager of the Bengals, make that move to trade him? They're not going to sign him. Would that be somebody how we'd be interested in, that Hendrickson kid? That's a good take there. Hey, guys, don't forget also, if you're looking for a new sports book, this football season, our great friends at BetUS are here. Don't forget, this is absolutely one of the absolute best times for you to find a new book during this sports season. Folks, one of the great things that we're offering up here, too, is the YouTube 150. The YouTube 150 goes up to $200 or $200K, or excuse me, $2,000. The YouTube 150, $2,000. Absolutely awesome. 150% bonus. And get this, your second purchases is $125, and your third 200% also in crypto bonuses as well. It's the YouTube 150 up to 2K, 150% bonus. Your second one is 125. Your third one is also 125. Make sure you log on to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year, live wagering on all major games. betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.